Welcome to the Stars and Strikes halftime show. I'm Chaz Messman. That on your screen is Ryan Deeb. The United States men's national team up 4-0 on Trinidad and Tobago in a friendly in the first match for the U.S. in 2021. And Ryan, I think we have to start by talking about Jesus Ferreira, the FC Dallas player, starting at striker as the number 9 for the U.S. today in his second cap, a goal and 3 assists.
Yeah, no, that's obviously the biggest takeaway. Like I was just saying before, there's not really any negatives to take away. And while we're not learning too much, we are learning about Jesus Ferreira, his quality as a 20-year-old. I mean, it's something we've been talking about for a good amount of our shows, and especially our live game reactions, is that this number 9 position isn't available, and seemingly every single person that Greg puts into that spot has been putting out a good performance. And I mean, we've had the likes of Sebastian Soto in that spot. We've seen Tim Weah at times there. Who else we got? Giacchini there. And it seems like all of these guys that Greg's putting into this spot are up to the occasion. They're up to the task, and they're giving Jozy Altidore something to worry about. I mean, I know the injuries aren't his fault, but it's good positive stuff to see, knowing that we have a vacant number 9 spot.
Yeah, you talked about Jozy Altidore. Disappointed to not see him back in the team. We're going to get to him a little later, more likely probably on the post-game show. But going back to Jesus Ferreira, this is a guy that usually does not play as a number 9. For FC Dallas, he's much more as an offensive midfielder. It was very surprising to me when I found out he only scored 1 goal this season for FC Dallas. Now he's already equaling that tally for the U.S. in just this match. And the 3 assists, were absolutely fantastic. And the thing that stood out to me the most is how quickly that he plays in the build-up and how quickly he plays and lays off passes throughout the match.
Yeah, and one thing to take note of too is the one thing that we praise Jozy for is his hold-up play. And on a couple of the goals, that's exactly what we should be praising Ferreira for, is his hold-up play. I mean, bringing the ball down in the opponent's box, holding it up, waiting for support, and then having that pass to an incoming player. I mean, the first one was off to, I think, Lewis, and then again to Paul Arriola for the latest goal. So great build-up play. A lot of good positive stuff from him.
And Jesus Ferreira, he's not a natural goal scorer. He did score that first goal, a nice little left-footed finish off the cross from Sam Vines. Sam Vines, another player that definitely stood out in that first half. But also going back to Ferreira, Greg Berhalter kind of described him in the way he expected him to play, similar to Bobby Firmino. If you guys can tell, I'm wearing a Liverpool jersey. Bobby Firmino, famously the number 9 for Liverpool, not the biggest goal scorer in the world. However, his build-up play and the way he links play and teams together and how he pushes the team forward and helps the team score goals by doing different things other than scoring is what makes him one of the best number 9s in the world. And Jesus Ferreira is doing a pretty good job making Greg sound like a smart guy.
Yeah, I really like that comparison. I mean, I know I don't really rate Firmino as much as maybe you do, but I really do see the comparison between the two players. It's very, very, their mind isn't always set. Where's goal? When am I going to take this shot? I know that's what a traditional number 9 is always thinking. But when you have a player like this, they can offer so much more at times. So it's it just pays tribute to I think what Greg is trying to do is just kind of look at all the different ways that we're capable of playing, because we know what Jozy's capable of. He's tried playing Weah there. We've played Soto, Giacchini, more target men type players. Legit as well. And now we have a more a deep lying number 9 like Roberto Firmino, who will create more stuff for the wingers, and we've seen that all 3 of our front players have scored. So it's great to see that we have another outlet, a different style to play with Ferreira in.
Talking about the wingers, that's where we've had our most success, is out on those flanks. There have been so much space for Jonathan Lewis, who scored his first international goal. And how about Paul Arriola, his second match back after that injury? He missed all of 2019 virtually with a torn ACL. He comes back, has 2 goals in this matches, scored in the last match of 2020, and he's now getting linked to a move to Europe with Swansea City, joining up with Jordan Morris.
Yeah, look, I mean, as at the start of the show, I said there's not much we could learn from this batch of players and, against this opponent. But I think what we've learned from the Honduras game and from today is that Paul Arriola is going to be a great substitute going into our best first team. And he maybe may not make it into that starting 11, but he is a great player to bring off the bench. Just that energy, that, quick touches on and off the ball, that movement he's just one of my favorite players outside of our best 11 to see play for us. And even after that injury, he's been excellent.
Yeah, he's just back to the way he was prior to that injury because Paul was playing great. You think back to that Gold Cup run where he was scoring goals, providing assists. He was a key player in that thing. And like you said, he's going to be a key squad player going forward. His work rate is absolutely infectious, and I think it rubs off on the other players. And when we get all the other guys back in the team, his leadership and his ability and his willingness to run down every single ball and every single chance and trying to go 100% will rub off on the players like Christian, like Josie, and all the other guys. And I think that's only going to help improve the team. Jonathan Lewis scoring right off the bat, in the second minute, his first goal for the U.S. national team. What was your first impressions of Jonathan Lewis in his next cap for the U.S.?
Yeah, I think that this is his second cap for the U.S. if I'm not mistaken, and he's been lively. I mean that left side with Sam Vines and Lewis has been probably our biggest threat. Whether that's anything to say about the Trinidad and Tobago setup, but we're just having tons of space, tons of energy coming in off that left hand flank, and that's it's positive stuff. I mean, a lot to pay tribute to Sam Vines as well. He's a player that gets a lot of criticism apart from the qualities that he does offer. It's a weakened opponent. That's fair enough to say. But Sam Vines and Jonathan Lewis are doing a great job on that left-hand side. And they talked about before the game, this year is going to have 20 games alone for the national team compared to last year, 4 or 5 games? So these players are going to be called upon. I mean, we can't play Serginho Dest, Reggie Cannon, and Anthony Robinson every game. It's going to be some of these guys that are going to come play a part. And so it's good to see that Sam Vines is starting to grow into a more mature player.
Second half just about to be underway. What is one thing you want to see from the U.S. in the second half?
One thing I want to see especially, whether it's DK that we didn't get to see last camp, especially see maybe what he brings into the game. We know what Ferreira brings. He's already had 4 or 5 goal contributions, so we know what he could do. Let's see maybe another striker and see how they work. And also I want to see some more from Kellyn Acosta. A lot of the buildup has been through Lletget and Jackson Newell. And Kellyn Acosta was sort of growing into the game towards the end of the half, but we haven't seen much from him. So let's hopefully you could start, getting into a better tempo towards the second half.
For me, I was just going to say I want to see Andres Perea, the guy that just declared for the United States. He got the one-time switch over from Colombia, the Orlando City midfielder, and we are going to get to see him. So that's definitely something that we're going to be talking about after the match on the Stars and Strikes post-game show. For Chaz Messman and Ryan Deeb, we'll see you after the match.
See you guys.